In Africa, the seemingly small and simple country of Wakanda hides a much deeper reality. Among the trees, a group of tribesmen are stalked by a Chitauri alien in the woods. Meanwhile, Prince T'Challa returns home to a warm welcome from his people, though the elders harbor resentment toward him. Suddenly, chaos erupts when one of the tribesmen screams about intruders before he is brutally killed. King T'Chaka, ignoring his son T'Challa's pleas, heads out to confront the danger. He dons the Black Panther suit and races toward the threat. With incredible skill, he takes down the first Chitauri and then easily handles the others. But in the midst of the battle, he is suddenly stabbed from behind by a familiar enemy, Kleiser. T'Chaka suffers another vicious stab as his son, T'Challa, witnesses the scene in horror. Kleiser threatens T'Challa, but T'Chaka, driven by rage and determination, sacrifices himself to protect his son. Kleiser survives the encounter, leaving T'Challa devastated by the sight of his father's lifeless body. Soon after, a funeral is held for T'Chaka as the people of Wakanda turn their gaze to their new king. As part of the rites, T'Chaka is laid to rest, and T'Challa is taken to the Eye of Kings, a sacred place only accessible to Wakandan rulers. Here, he assumes the mantle of the new Black Panther. Wakanda's advanced technology surrounds him, and among it, T'Challa finds a photo of Kleiser alongside Captain America, who is still out there fighting for justice and freedom all by himself. Captain America begins experiencing flashbacks during combat, and his reckless behavior leads him to get shot. He stops an armored truck, and once backup arrives, all the criminals are arrested. Black Widow scolds him for his carelessness. Captain America brushes off her warnings. The mission is over, but soon afterward, Captain America is confronted by Nick Fury after Black Widow reports on his recklessness. Fury pulls Cap off his next mission, demanding to know what's going on in his head. Black Widow tries to comfort Cap, understanding how difficult it can be to adapt to a new reality, but Cap insists that he's fine. Fury warns him that if he doesn't get his act together, he'll end up locked up next to Banner. Meanwhile, Bruce Banner is already imprisoned, still facing consequences for his actions as the Hulk in the previous movie. He's being interrogated about when he lost control and turned on the Avengers. Banner argues that becoming the Hulk was necessary to stop the alien threat, but his doctor seems to enjoy watching him suffer through psychological torment. Banner is later sedated to prevent another transformation, and he's forced to relive the traumatic events. Meanwhile, Captain America struggles to sleep, haunted by nightmares from his past. In one of his restless nights, Black Panther sneaks up on him, but Cap reacts instinctively, throwing him out the window and chasing him down, ready for a fight. Before things can spiral further, Fury arrives with a team and clarifies that Black Panther is not an enemy. However, the discovery of T'Chaka's death shocks him. Black Panther explains his father's assassination at the hands of Kleiser and pleads for information that might help. Cap is stunned to learn that Kleiser is still alive. Fury suggests that Wakanda open its borders to allow the Avengers to assist, but Black Panther refuses to let them in. Black Panther leaves the scene, and Fury immediately calls for the Avengers to assemble. At Pym's lab, the team is working on a way to make Hank Pym even larger, but the procedure quickly starts to go wrong. Hank's vitals begin to fail, yet he insists on continuing. Janet, worried for his safety, aborts the experiment. A heated argument follows, and Hank storms out, visibly upset. Shortly after, Fury leaves them a message. Meanwhile, Tony Stark is hiking in the icy mountains when he receives a call from Fury. His heart suddenly gives out, and he quickly replaces his heart reactor with a new one before heading back without a second thought. At the same time, Thor is deep in some kind of ritual. During it, he has a vision of the future where all the Avengers are dead. He snaps out of the vision, visibly shaken. Later, Betty is in the middle of researching an alien ship when Janet arrives. Soon after, Iron Man returns, and the team is ready to regroup. Betty visits Bruce to update him on the situation, revealing that the aliens are still present and sharing her findings about the ship. Bruce offers his help, but Betty is furious, telling him that no one trusts him anymore. Captain America arrives and tells Black Widow that he plans to kill Kleiser once and for all. Fury gathers the team and explains their enemy. Kleiser is a Chitauri shapeshifter who had worked with the Nazis during the Third Reich. He was thought to have died with Captain America 70 years ago, but like a cockroach, he survived. Kleiser is the one who assassinated the king of Wakanda, a country the Avengers know little about, and Captain America insists on going into Wakanda alone. Fury refuses, stating that the mission is to enter Wakanda quietly, gather intel, and leave without being noticed. Since Captain America is emotionally compromised, he is taken off command, and Black Widow is appointed to lead the mission instead. Meanwhile, the Chitauri seem to be making moves. Kleiser communicates with his race in space, explaining that there are complications in securing the plan. As this unfolds, Black Panther reflects on his childhood. He remembers how his father sent him away, believing in the importance of understanding the outside world, despite the elders' objections. T'Challa confesses that he never wanted to be king and leaves the memory behind. Later, the Avengers arrive in Wakanda, spreading out to gather information. Tony Stark asks Captain America if he knew Kleiser had survived when he disabled the bomb 70 years ago. Captain America responds that he didn't. He reflects on his time in World War II, remembering how Kleiser killed his friends and shot him. He had thrown a bomb in an attempt to kill Kleiser, but it obviously hadn't worked. As Cap snaps out of the flashback, Black Panther confronts them, and the Avengers quickly form a circle around him. Captain America offers his help, which Black Panther reluctantly accepts, on the condition that the rest of the Avengers leave the area. They must enter Wakanda as outsiders, as no one is allowed into the country. Cap discovers a Chitauri ship that was shot down by Wakanda back in 1942. As they stand before it, Black Panther explains that there's much more to Wakanda than what the outside world perceives. While they speak, the rest of the Avengers are hunted by Wakanda's guards. The Avengers fight back, taking down the attackers, before Black Panther escorts Cap to the Hall of Kings. He tells Cap about his grandfather, who had first met Kleiser in an attempt to establish peace. However, Kleiser, seeking to steal Wakanda's heart by force, was met with fierce resistance. After a long battle, Wakanda emerged victorious, but became deeply distrustful of all outsiders. Just then, Nakinda appears, and the Avengers find themselves surrounded once again. A barrage of arrows is fired at Hank, poisoning him and knocking him out. Janet rushes to his aid, while Iron Man attempts to fight back, only to have his weapons disabled before he's thrown to the ground. Black Widow tries to retaliate, but her efforts are futile. Just in time, Black Panther intervenes, halting the confrontation. He tells them they can leave, but warns them that if they return, the guards will kill them. On the ship, Black Widow suggests they return with backup, but Fury insists they leave Wakanda immediately. Meanwhile, Thor is still performing his rituals, seeking guidance from his father, Odin. Odin reveals the true enemy, but forbids Thor from intervening, ordering him to return to Asgard. However, Thor disobeys, unwilling to leave the humans to their fate. Back in Wakanda, Betty continues her research on the alien ship and discovers a block of vibranium acting as an energy cube that absorbs and stores energy. Meanwhile, Bruce Banner is still being tortured. He figures out Betty's problem with the ship, but the doctor sedates him and administers an unsafe dosage. In the skies, Cap and Black Widow spot Chitauri in Wakanda. Despite orders to stay put, Cap immediately descends into the fray. Hank tells the others to leave him, but Janet, fed up with his behavior, tells him that they're over. Back in Wakanda, Black Panther faces a council of elders for betraying their sacred decrees. He argues that those decrees are outdated, but despite his claims, he is relieved of his authority. He leaves the council and, finding a Chitauri, pursues it. Cap catches up with him, and the two agree to take the Chitauri back to S.H.I.E.L.D. for answers. At S.H.I.E.L.D., Fury is trying to reach the Avengers, but he's interrupted by Thor, who warns them of a greater threat in the northern sky. They quickly locate the alien mothership. Back in Wakanda, the team boards the Chitauri ship, only to realize it's a trap. A fierce battle ensues, and Janet is shot. Cap manages to sever the alien's arm, but Kleiser, now wielding Cap's shield, orders fire on the ship. Thor is haunted by the flashbacks from his vision as Iron Man uses an energy field to protect everyone. The ship explodes, and Black Panther watches in sorrow, knowing that the true threat is still out there. The realization sets in. They're not alone. Thor manages to save the Avengers, taking them back to S.H.I.E.L.D., but they are all severely wounded. Meanwhile, an energy field begins spreading across the planet, enveloping the entire world. At Stark Tower, chaos erupts as Jarvis descends into an underground base while Iron Man, shedding his destroyed armor, suits up in a new one. Realizing that they need heavy artillery for the coming battle, Iron Man and the team select War Machine, equipped with powerful weaponry. Betty visits Bruce, who is still disoriented. He explains that the Hulk's gamma radiation shattered the fragile areas of the alien ship. He wants to help her with her research, but Betty reminds him that Fury doesn't trust him. Hank is at Janet's side as she lies in a coma. Cap visits them, but Hank angrily blames him for everything that's gone wrong and kicks him out. Back in Wakanda, the people are in turmoil as the alien ship attacks. Wakanda's defenses are raised, and the people begin to fight back. The elders, confident in their ability to defend themselves, dismiss T'Challa's concerns. However, T'Challa knows they need help. As the aliens continue their assault around the world, T'Challa reaches out to Fury, explaining the true importance of Wakanda. The country is built on a massive cache of vibranium, a resource that gives them their technological edge. The aliens are after it, and Wakanda is in grave danger. While T'Challa calls for assistance, the elders interrupt, but he ignores them and suits up to join the battle. As the conflict rages on, Kaiser realizes that Wakanda has been using the alien ship to power their advanced technology. Furious, he orders the destruction of the ship, and as a result, Wakanda's defenses power down. Just in time, the Avengers arrive to take control of the defenses. Black Panther joins them, relieved to see they're still alive. Kaiser, enraged at their presence, orders an immediate attack. Thor, ignoring his father Odin's command to stay out of the fight, charges into the fray. Hank grows to enormous size to battle the aliens, but is quickly knocked down. Iron Man and Thor step in to help him, only to be shot down themselves, with Thor again stepping in to save Iron Man. The aliens find the elders and attempt to attack, but Black Panther intervenes and saves them, though the elders remain displeased with his actions, offering only a reluctant nod of acknowledgement. Cap confronts Kaiser again, retrieving his shield, and the fight intensifies. Meanwhile, the aliens drop bombs around the world, and Janet wakes from her coma. Betty tests Bruce's gamma-ray theory, and it proves correct. As Janet and Betty are caught in a fight with aliens, they manage to regroup, only for the aliens to break into Bruce's cell. They begin attacking him, and in a desperate bid to save himself, the Doctor betrays Bruce, offering to kill him. However, the aliens eviscerate him anyway. Betty and Janet arrive just in time to save Bruce, killing the aliens in the process. However, Bruce is gravely poisoned, and as he begins to deteriorate, Betty has a sudden realization. She still loves him. As the battle in Wakanda intensifies, Bruce is left behind, and the team heads out to rejoin the others. Fury enters the fray but is quickly knocked down, and Black Widow rushes to his side, while Iron Man continues to fight the Chitauri. Kaiser targets Cap with a weapon, but Black Panther intervenes, and the two engage in a fierce battle. Black Panther is stabbed in the process, further complicating the situation. With the Avengers desperately needing a distraction, Wakanda unleashes a massive assault on the Chitauri forces, launching projectiles and shooting arrows. Meanwhile, Betty gives Iron Man the gamma-ray weapon, but tensions rise between her and Janet when she refuses to work with Hank. Thor decides to take on the massive alien ship while the others make their way inside. Hank, against Janet's wishes, volunteers to join Iron Man. As they approach the ship, Thor deflects attacks, and the team charges forward. Thor plays defense, deflecting fire while Iron Man launches attacks until the ship begins to fall apart. Inside, the team battles through alien forces, searching for the power core. On the ground, Cap manages to sever Kaiser's arm, but it regenerates and Cap is stabbed. Black Panther, furious, unleashes his rage, attacking Kaiser viciously, but Kaiser mocks him and his father. However, Black Panther has a plan. Meanwhile, the Hulk emerges from S.H.I.E.L.D., smashing aliens on the streets. Back in the chamber, Cap and Black Panther manage to trap Kaiser in a flooding chamber, where he ultimately drowns. Iron Man and Hank find the energy core, but must fight more aliens. Hank stays behind, absorbing the damage while Iron Man destroys the core. Unfortunately, the weapon runs out of power, and Iron Man is forced to throw it inside, which successfully destroys the ship. Hank and Iron Man escape, but Hank is unconscious. The energy barrier around the world drops, and Iron Man, carrying the injured Hank, crashes to the ground. Janet is concerned about Hank's condition, but before they can process it, part of the alien ship begins to fall toward the city. Iron Man risks his life to stop it, but his systems fail, and he crashes. Thor arrives just in time, summons his lightning, and revives Iron Man, leading everyone to believe he is now an actual god. In the aftermath, Black Panther is restored as king by the elders, who also agree to bury Kaiser. He reassures Cap that the battle is over. The team returns to the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, but the Hulk is still missing, watching from afar before leaping away. Betty observes his remains, and Janet reminds her that at least he's still alive. The Avengers hold a small memorial for Hank, with Iron Man offering comfort to both Betty and Janet, while Cap and Black Widow share a quiet moment together. Fury, left alone, finds Thor and offers him a beer. Thor begins recounting his tales as the movie concludes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. See you in the next one.